Put this. I'll put everything in the group right now.
Okay.
Live.
In 5. Thug Life. What's up, Eric? What's going on?
Screen. Here we go. I got my Beavis and Bucket shirt.
Everybody's coming in liking the video.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. Good job. Alrighty then. Taking a cat niche. Yeah, I ran those AMS ads on some of the shirts, and then I'm making some St. Patrick's Day sales now. But it's still, I haven't had anything take off. It's just all pretty much, it's still like evergreen shirts.
I've got 2 shirts that are doing okay, but I noticed today for the first time, probably in a month, like organic stuff started to come in too. Like I started to see some organic sales on St. Patrick's Day, which hasn't happened yet. I had some stuff that I just put up that, we had no ads running to that was pulling in sales.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Everybody's jumping in. More minutes. Everybody coming in, please give the video a thumbs up. Appreciate it, and share it if you can. Love you. Thank you.
How do you share it?
It's on the below the video. It says right there, share by the thumbs.
I think I am in the control panel. Probably that's why.
Kristen says hi.
Yeah. I will share it in my group, but I don't know how.
All right, guys. Okay, so we have a special guest. We got Fernando on the show. Thank you for coming on, Fernando. Appreciate that.
My pleasure. How are you guys?
Doing well. Okay, so we always start off with the last 7 days, just to kind of give everybody like a insight of how things are going. So my last 7 days I'm at 192 shirts sold, and the profit is $889.
Nice. Your profit numbers are way better than mine, but that's because I'm trying to ramp things up for St. Patrick's Day. Last 7 days, we're at 150 even with 365.84.
I have no idea what my numbers are.
No.
But yeah, this it wasn't good. It was like 35, 40 shirts this week. It's starting to take off though. The last 2 days has been a lot better for me. But yeah, it's been very, very slow on merch. Of course, Shopify on the other platforms, I'm still very consistent and actually starting to take off in
Nice.
on Shopify. But I can see that the merch by Amazon is starting to have more organic sales. Some shirts that I had not sold since before the freeze are starting to sell. I saw yesterday I had 4 sales. Today I'm already 6 sales, and all of them I am not running AMS. So it's starting to look promising. I think they're starting to fix that issue they had where it was not indexing correctly, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Still lost. Like the sales are like from last week I was at like 40 sales a day to 50 sales a day, and all of a sudden it just dropped off. And then there's like a couple people too that say at the same tier as me, they're only averaging 20 sales a day, and they're like, it's weird. It's very weird. So
yeah, it's like no consistency at all. I mean, it's like I was reading and somebody posted earlier that Michael Essex was selling like 60 shirts a week, and he's at 12,000, right? I mean, that is like it's absolutely nothing compared for the amount of shirts that he has uploaded. So something is definitely going on in terms of the stuff not showing, right?
Right. So, I mean, good news is though, I definitely have noticed an uptick in traffic, especially on like St. Patrick's Day stuff. The nice thing about having AMS ads across a wide variety of St. Patrick's shirts is you get to see like the impression numbers start to go way, way up, even though my ad cost is also going way, way up. So, yeah, that's something I'm evaluating right now. There's a strong chance I'm going to be shutting off some of these AMS ads because it's getting expensive.
Yeah, for sure. I see that though too sometimes, but like what the AMS ads is pretty hard because it really don't track it that well.
The reporting's so slow. Yeah, it's so frustrating, especially if you're trying to test things. It's like I don't want to wait 72 hours to figure out if this ad, sucks and I'm blowing a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure. So okay, Fernando, let's get us. What's your main thing? Like, what is it? Shopify?
It's across the board. I mean, I sell in Seller Central as well. I sell,
FBA? Yeah, okay.
FBA is my main thing. I mean, it's like, that is what makes my 6 figures. That's what actually pays for my videos here. But print on demand is starting to get to that level. I mean, Shopify is bringing me the money. Some Etsy's. I mean, it's like everybody. We can say that we're doing good on Etsy, but it's still nothing that we can brag about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, merch was very consistent for me until like at some point in December when everything collapsed. Was being very consistent. It's starting to look consistent, and I know it's gonna get very strong in a week or two. So. But yes, and I also have my own brand on Seller Central, where I have print on demand. I have an integration with a company called Rapid Creators, where I have the same designs that I have on Merch by Amazon. I also have them on Seller Central, where I am selling now mugs, hoodies. Well, I was selling hoodies now anymore, but I have different type of apparel. I have coffee mugs and water bottles, cell phone cases with my same designs.
Gotcha.
Those sell. And it's also what it tells me that something is going on with Merch by Amazon. Is because you see I have some T-shirts. The T-shirts I have on Amazon it's Hanes brand. So I sell them a little more expensive. I sell them for around $24.99. Same designs that I have on Merch, and I'm selling them. They are selling. So something is telling me that why I'm not selling my $19.99, $17.99 shirts on Merch.
Right.
If I am selling the same design with the far less keywords, because I'm so lazy when it comes to mass uploading that I don't go and do back-end keywords or something like that. But it's selling. And actually, I had a record sales month on FBA as well on other products. So the money is there. People are going to Amazon. People are buying on Amazon. But yeah, and I'm very diversified. When I started on Merch, it was when they stopped the freeze where you couldn't get it up, it was like 3 months to get geared up and stuff like that, and and then you couldn't, then all the shirts got stuck in processing for forever, and I got fed up. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna start selling other platforms. I already had a VA doing my own designs, and I'm like, I'm getting more designs that I can actually upload in this stuff. I have so much product, and I'm getting advantage of it. So it's when I found integration to go into Amazon. Then I found that not everything sells on other platforms. Like for example, Redbubble, everything is graphical. When you go to TeePublic, everything is a parody. So I started saying, okay, I can sell something here, I can sell something there. Then it came Etsy, and it's when I said, okay, I can sell different type of products on Etsy with my same designs as well. So everything has gone through diversification, of different platforms. And at the same time, if I was to lose one account in any one of the platforms, I wouldn't even feel it. You can tell me right now that, hey, you just lost $1,000, income a month, and I'm like, whatever. I have so many more, that are right now functioning. That right now, well, you were to tell me like you lose your merch account like 3 months ago, I will say whatever. Even though I'm not selling nothing right now, you will tell me you lose your merch account right now, I will start crying. But I know so much about what's coming that I'm like, I don't want to lose my account ever again. When I went to Amazon, I was with the mentality that I was like, I want an explanation of why I'm not selling, or why why the throttle and stuff like that. And when I left, I'm like, please don't be mad at me. Give me the new products, because there's a new apparel product coming soon. You will see it probably Only in 3 to 4 weeks should be happening. Of course, it's Amazon. When we saw the sweatshirts, it was like too late.
Right.
So hopefully this product is not late, but we know it's coming. They told us it was coming. I'm waiting on it. And and if you have been following, the licensed products that you have seen that there are 2 new products that are no apparel, and those ones should be coming soon as well. There is one that I don't think everybody's gonna get, because there's the way that the design is gonna work is so precise, full sublimation, stuff like that. So it will be very difficult to control quality, if they get thousands of them at the same time. So I think that one is probably going to be some selected. But the other one, I think, is going to be very open, because it can be done, full sublimation or partial sublimation or use image. And I guess you can just go, man, don't take my word, but just go and find some of those, you know, uh, characters that are popular, on the search queries, some guy to send some astronomy, and you will find the 2 new products that I'm talking about, right?
Right.
Not ready for sale. You will know what I'm talking about. I cannot say, because I am in NDA, but they're right there, so you can find them, right?
Yeah, for those of you guys that don't know and haven't been kind of plugged into the groups, Fernando was part of a group of people that was invited to go to Amazon headquarters, Merch by Amazon headquarters, and tour the plant, meet the people that are actually behind it, have a really long sit-down conversation with them, went to dinner, all of that stuff. To give feedback on the platform, also to ask some questions, answer some questions. So unfortunately, Fernando's trying to really, really strong NDA, which basically they're going to take away his entire house and everything he owns if he opens his mouth. So he's got to kind of walk around it a little bit and can't talk too much. But
you're not joking. I mean, you were to read that document. I mean, a typical NDA is like a couple of paragraphs. This thing was like 2 pages. It was huge. It was very specific, and it's not like I cannot speak about what we spoke. It's more like they want to protect the integrity of their process.
Yeah.
And how they do it, and and all this. There's a lot of myths about what Merch by Amazon is, right? Like, do they really run out of colors? No, they don't. They never run out of colors. Whenever you don't have a specific color, available, it's because there's something else going on, right? Like, for example, it could be something that they have too much inventory of one and they want to push it and they want to hold on to the one, or something could be happening. One printers are not really right now aligned to do a specific sizes. Because you see, I don't know, you guys have been on a print on demand in print on demand factory, but when you put the shirt into the machine to go print it, some of them have to have some height and some stuff depends on the size of the shirt. So sometimes you have all the shirts working at specific calibration that sometimes you cannot be going back and forth on different sizing. So you gotta be aligning the platform to go perfect
Right.
so that you can go. But it's a process that once it goes from pick and pack, it's extremely fast. No more than 10 minutes before it's from somebody picking the shirt and being shipped. I mean, it's a super fast project, extreme quality control, all these things that people say. All these shirts, I bet nobody's reviewing them. They have a person that is just in charge of reviewing every single shirt in person to make sure that it is exactly as it is on the screen. So if your PNG is the one that looks crappy, the shirt's gonna look crappy, but the quality control person is trained to say it looks exactly the same that it is in the screen. Go ship it. They are very extremely picky. The vinegar smell is part of the process. You know how the cornings work. The cornings work actually is that when you put a shirt, it gets pre-treated inside, and it gets out. As soon as it's pre-treated, it is printed in top of it. It is not like when you go to the other pots that you first pre-treat, then heat, then print. These ones are actually all in one. Very fancy machines, I can tell you that. They're very nice. We actually got the chance to actually print our own shirt while we were at it. We actually got trained how to do it. It was a very good experience, right? To get to know exactly how they do it, and you're like, okay, this is a myth that Amazon has no control, that they have no interest in printing quality. They do. If the design comes crappy, it's because your design sucks.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We kind of ordered a bunch of shirts over the last 2 weeks because we wanted to see some of the different the colors for the new shirts, and also just see like what kind of quality we were going to see and everything else. And I will say the vinegar smell is significantly less than what it used to be. Every one of the bags that I got, like it wasn't opening it up and getting shocked in the face from like that really strong vinegar smell. It's still there, but it's not near as bad as it used to be. And the printing quality, honestly, I think it's better on the port and canvas than it was on the anvils. It looks really, really good.
It is because you go right now and grab an anvil and you start playing with it.
Yep.
It has more elasticity.
Yep.
The port and authority.
Yeah.
They are more rigid.
Yeah.
See the thread count is actually higher in the port and authority. So because it makes it more compact. So when you actually have, when you actually go and print on demand and you print on top of it, you get a more smooth surface.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets better quality. Now that is where it comes the problem with port authority, is that it's rigid. For example, my body complexion, anvil large fit me perfect. Port authority, I have very wide shoulders, and I'm a little overweight, right? A large fits me, but here it's uncomfortable. If you look at the anvil, the shoulders are straight. They have straight shoulders. You look at the Port Authority, the shoulders are like this. That's why the mock-ups look like this, like the design starts more at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Because the shirt is actually inclined to the sides so that it drops everything more. So when you have somebody with wide shoulders or somebody with strong shoulders, that thing fits tight. Even though it's wider on the bottom, the Port Authority actually goes like this. They actually opens, whereas the anvil is actually a straight line. But the shoulders is the problem. So I think that is going to be an issue, when we're selling to unisex, for women. That pectoral area is going to be having some issues. It's going to look a lot nicer, though. The print quality is like threefold. It's like super nice, because it's a smoother canvas. But both of these are more like, they are not. This is not a relaxed fit shirt. And they were trying to fix that production quality issue that a lot of people were complaining, because the anvil is used to the threads were not that close together, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a nice change, though. I mean, it for those people that are worried about quality and perception of quality, Port Authority is a far better quality shirt than anvil any day.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like that, it's just a lot more consistent. That's what I noticed. Like we've got, I don't know, at least 12 of the shirts, and we've looked over the way it prints on different colors, like the threads, the way that like the stitching is and all this stuff. Even just like the tearaway tag on the neck, it's just way better. And I wear a XX, and it fits me perfect. So I was a little bit worried about that because the anvil stuff, like the sleeves are super tight. Like everything else fit good, but the sleeves on the anvil made it look like I was wearing my little brother's shirt.
Yeah, well, I don't have big arms, so I'm used to have a big tummy.
I got the same problem. I have both.
I mean, I'm 6 tall, but I have a small torso, so that I'm pretty chubby. Yeah. But anyways, we're not talking about Miss Universe here. I love my thought process. But it's gonna be a better shirt. Now, it's probably a good idea to order, one with sample for colors. Yes, probably so. It will give you an idea on how things print and how things does. I mean, if you didn't know, you see the seams here in your shirt from where it is. They're gonna go about 2 fingers, and then they're gonna start printing from there down. That's where the PNG begins to print. Okay. So you have 2 fingers right here, and you leave out this space, like from fingers, is where this is gonna start to print. So because of the Port Authority is more down, it's gonna probably start printing a little lower than in your anvil. So it's something you have to consider. That's what I say. Just order one so you can calculate more. It's about an inch and a half, more or less. Actually, it's 3 fingers. I'm sorry, about 3 fingers for when they start from the seam. They gotta fill it, and this is when they start printing. So it will give you an idea of where you should, accommodate your design. And in some of them were too low. Yeah, you probably want to raise them a little bit. But the way the mock-ups look today is not the way things are printed. It's not automated every single time. somebody has to go, somebody has to fold it. The seam has to go in a specific spot, on the machine, so they know that everyone starts printing exactly the same at the same spot, and they don't start printing until they have it fully aligned. It's a process that they got to do. So I hope that helps for a bunch of people who are always concerned, like, the mock-ups look like everything's in the center. Actually,
Right.
they're done on purpose. They're done on purpose to make the mock-up look, actually, the image look bigger, because when the image look bigger, when you go into search, page, you can see the image of the actual design, and not you only see the shirt. They were actually done more for psychological impact more than this is how your shirt is going to look. And
Right.
honestly, not a lot of people complain that, hey, my mockup doesn't look exactly like the shirt I got, right? It's more like they only care about the quality. And at the end of the day, these are impulse buys anyways. So what
Yeah.
else?
Okay.
I can talk about that for hours. So.
No. Okay, so let's get into with the integration that you have connected to Seller Central. Like how are sales looking on there for you? Is like there's no throttling or anything like that at all, or is there getting more traffic?
I don't throttle myself.
Yeah.
It's my brand, it's my product,
Yeah.
it's the integration. I mean, that's my decision. I mean, I can move the price wherever I want to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can run, instead of running AMS, I run a sponsor ad products.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually have I run a sponsor ad product for every single one of my products for around 10-15 cents, because I literally have thousands. I have probably 30,000 products right now, on there. And every week I add about 7,000 more. But every year I have to erase them all again, because Amazon has this rule that if you have an ASIN that hasn't sold in 1 year and you have more than X amount of ASINs, which right now I don't remember how many, they charge around 2 to 3 cents per ASIN that hasn't sold.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have one shirt and you have it in 2 colors, and that shirt has 10 different sizes, that's 10 different ASINs. Now multiply that by times 30,000 shirts that you may have, different ASINs, you have 300,000 ASINs running. Multiply that by 2-3 cents, that is hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you gotta raise whatever, and start all over again. And I actually went through that process recently, and I'm starting to add again and add again. And you lose out your rank. It's nothing you can do. And that is actually why Amazon merch started implementing that rule of the 3 months. If in 3 months a shirt didn't sell, they're gonna erase it, because they lease from Amazon.com. Merch is a division, so they lease the platform. And all those shirts that were there for 3 months and no sales were just costing, a potential penalty for all the ASINs that were not selling. And that is why also it evolved right now into, you notice the new listings now don't have a child ASIN. It's only a parent ASIN, which kind of ruined AMS for us, because now we cannot say run every single thing. Now it's like you put the parent ASIN, and AMS is going to decide which one to show. I don't even know how it works. Because of the same reason, because they had all these, okay, you saw one shirt out of 5 different colors, 6 different sizes, you had 30 different ASINs, and only one was selling. The other 29, they were being penalized. So they said, okay, it's only going to be one ASIN for the whole family, and it's going to be that. So we're going to have to find ways to get more into promoting, which is why I mean, I don't know you guys are doing this, but I mean, right now at tier 2000, I'm getting 100 uploads a day, which I can refresh my whole inventory in 20 days. So I am going by one listing per color, and I'm just testing. Why am I doing that? Because I can do AMS effectively in the color I want, and at the same time, I can now do market research, see which color is the one that sells the best for my design, and I can get rid of, the colors that doesn't sell. In 20 days, I can go through my whole inventory and start all over again if they keep giving me these 100 ASINs. I mean, these 100 listings. So right now, I'm just adding, like for one design, I have like 10 different listings going, like, this is for kids, this is for adults, this is, and the ones that have, like male, I'm actually listing as unisex, and I'm just giving them, I said, hey, let's see which one sells. And I am not going with the customer and saying, hey, I have 5 different, shirt, but I have 5 different options, and actually 10 different options, because it's 5 colors and male or female, pick the one that you want. I'm just telling them, look, you open this option is only on black, and it's only on port authority, and it's only this is what you got. You want it, yes, no, buy it. Just and you simplify the process, right?
Right.
And it's something I'm testing because that's the psychology that stores like Macy's use, right? You don't go there and say oh, this is the shirt. Do you have it in different colors? Says, no, dear. You can get it on olive green or nothing at all, right? And you're like, well, I like the design. Okay, I'm gonna get an olive green, right? And you buy it. You don't go and say, hey, can I have black, green, orange, or whatever, right? It's like this is one color. You go to Walmart even. It's only one design, one shirt color. This is the size. You want the design, you get it, and get the hell out of here. So I'm trying that right now, and I just started like 3 days ago, and I'll see how it happens. But
now, a question on that, Fernando. Do you plan on, once you get some data on that, do you think that you'll take those ASINs and combine them back together? So say, like, for example, you have a men's color that's selling well and a woman's color that's selling well and a child's color that's selling well. Would you want to combine those?
Actually, I am not going to combine my kits anymore.
Okay.
Because, you see, before let's say we have a dinosaur with glasses, right? Sunglasses, and that's a shirt that is 100% guaranteed that only a kid would wear, right? Probably some odd creature that that is an adult would probably wear that shirt.
Yeah.
But it's 99.9% guaranteed that it's going to be kids, right? So this is what happens on merch. When you have in the back end, you have a shirt that says dinosaur shirt, and that's the keyword what it shows, right? So you have now in that shirt you used to have a male, female, and kids shirts, right? So this shirt that was completely focused for kids was showing on the search query for whenever an adult was searching for a dinosaur shirt for himself. He was probably looking for a mean Tyrannosaurus Rex with some blood on his mouth, and there comes this cool dino with sunglasses. Well, guess what? That person was never clicking on that shirt, so it's like no. After 1,000 times of somebody seeing that shirt and they were never intended to buy a dino with cool glasses, Amazon would say, you know what? I don't want to show this shirt. Even if you have it on AMS, after you, I don't know if you have noticed, after you get so many impressions, the impressions stop. Even if you tell them, I'm going to give you 50 cents, I'm going to give you 75 cents, they don't show it anymore.
Yeah.
Right? They already determined that shirt has lived the ultra life. They don't care you give them $3 because nobody ever clicked on that shirt. So they never cash on any single one of the clicks. So they stop showing it. Same thing happens, when you're actually going for organic free traffic. Amazon is like, I already showed this shirt so many times and nobody bought it. Get it out. So if it's a shirt that is only for kids, make sure that you only have it on kid sizes. So when somebody searches for that shirt, they're going to be searching on the kids section and they're going to be looking for dino shirt on the kids for kids. That is going to guarantee that shirt is going to be shown to the real potential customer and not to somebody that's going to be like, who will wear that shit, right? So I no longer do that.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it makes total sense. I've kind of been thinking about doing something very similar. I haven't been thinking about separating it out into like the individuals.
Who sold something?
I did.
No, that's cool. And so then also too with Shopify, are you doing all your print on demand on there too as well? Or are you running what are you doing? You drop shipping on there with like products from AliExpress, or what do you?
My Shopify is print on demand. It's a It's a combination of I'm using Custom Cat, I'm using Shine On, and I'm using Everything with Ink. Everything with Ink is owned by one of my actually a personal friend here in Houston, and all my T-shirts are actually printed here in Houston and his company. In Custom Cat, I have all the mugs. I have whatever product I decide to throw. My store is very niche specific. It's on the funny side of the funny side of the teaching niche. So everything I do is niche specific. So there are some products that even though I sell, I don't have a market for them in the teaching niche. But for example, China On is nothing but jewelry, where you can actually print your own designs. Actually, I mean, it's like a Pandora jewelry, right? You can bring whatever you want in the deal. They're so cheap. You get them for like the price you get is like $8 to $12, sometimes $14. But you sell them for $30, $40, $80 each. Depends on the finishing. Like for example, right now there is one that I'm gonna test. I'm gonna be running some ads starting tomorrow. It's gold plated, 18K gold plated. It's about this big. It's like a necklace.
Mm-hmm.
With a necklace as well. The price I'm gonna be paying is $14.95, and I'm gonna be running the ad for $49.99 if it's just the way it is, or $69.99 if it is personalized. On the back they can engrave the name or whatever you want, and that is like an upsell that people pay $20 for that stuff, so the return on investment there is gonna be about anywhere from $25 to $45. So I mean, I have a huge margin where I can play with Facebook ads, right? I mean, I can even run a $10 per conversion, and I will still making a hell out of money. And they're pretty here in the US. So I mean, it's one of those deals that I'm like, yeah. And I have already run a couple ads on that, and I have made decent money on jewelry.
Now, are you doing Amazon custom too?
I do.
Okay. How's that? Like, we signed up for that right when it first started, just because we were coming from kind of an Etsy background, and then we ended up in merch, and merch has been my life and my wife's life basically for the last 8 months. But I like custom definitely interests me. Are you doing a lot of like customized mugs and shirts and stuff like that? Is that what you're essentially doing with your print on demand stuff?
Custom made, you really want to have, or want to find a way to have it integrated with something. I mean, some sort of integration, because it is very time consuming. I mean, when I started doing Amazon custom, and I mean, I used to run the group with Chris Green on Amazon custom. I started doing it manually, and and the very first product that I started selling in Amazon custom was these where people would send me their pictures, and I had mugs, and I saw a hell lot of mugs. I probably saw about 300 pieces before I called it quits. I didn't make a single buck because people were dropping it too low, and if I factor the cost of my time, it was just a waste of my time.
Yeah.
They will send me the pictures, and 3 out of 5 times the pictures were of very bad resolution, that I had to email them back and say, hey, I asked for to be a square, let's say 500 by 500 PNG, and you're sending me, sending me something like it's 100 by 700, like a complete rectangular, and I cannot do nothing with this, or the resolution was like kbytes. I mean, literally, I got some that were kbytes. I have no idea what type of machine they used to take a picture that was not even a megabyte. It was just that bad. I mean, I keep thinking they were using some of those HPs from the 90s that, like 300 kbytes. And I'm like,
were they using one of those cameras that they put on like a floppy disk? Because my dad had one of those when it first came out. He thought it was the coolest thing ever.
I have my brick somewhere in there. Camera that I bought in 1998 for eBay. But that is the problem, right? So I was always trying to, and then I will cancel them for them. They said, the customer didn't never send me the right picture. So I said, okay, I need to find an integration. And once I found an integration, it was so easy, because whatever people will customize, they will send the ASPG to whoever was doing, and they had systems to do it automatically. So I didn't have to worry about that. I no longer take pictures, because people will send me like the weirdest crap, right? I mean, I will have like extremely sexual, explicit pictures. So or like there was one that this guy sent me literally a picture of his shit that he used to take a dump, and he and he wrote, I was thinking, you piece of, and he wanted me to print a couple of those, and I'm like, oh Lord, I mean, it was like stupid stuff like that, right? Like pictures of people's butt that say, kiss my, every time when you drink coffee, kiss my, because it was positioned exactly that, at the height where you put here, it was like the butt. So, I mean, it was one of those that I'm like, it was embarrassing for me to go, wherever I used to print them and having to print it. And I was like, this is not for me. So
Well, think about that. Think about the guys that are getting your orders. Like they're getting those orders from you, and they're going like, "What the hell is this guy doing?"
Yeah, I mean, those were gifts. Of course, they were sending to third parties. They were not for themselves. I mean, there was a typical one, that I'm celebrating my anniversary or happy Mother's Day or stuff like that. So there were some nice ones, right? But it was almost like someone of them. I was like, gee, how sick is people, right? I mean, it's like, like there was one that was like, here is your favorite drink, right? And it was a picture of a Kotex, and I'm like, come on,
Oh
so,
man.
so it was like one after another was so vulgar that I say, okay, no more pictures. So if you do custom, I mean, you want to crack yourself up a couple of days, go ahead and allow them to give you pictures. Otherwise, it's a complete waste of your time. I mean, it's a lot of work, and it's not worth it. The ones that are very worth it on custom are the ones that, I am awesome because I am, and then you let them write whatever else they want. You get a nice design, where fill the blanks. Those ones sell like crazy on Amazon Custom. People. Sometimes I create, like, in my store, I probably have like 50 different ones already made with the top 50 names, and I tell them, you cannot find your name, click on this link, and I will take you to where you can customize them, right? And people will go and say, okay, I want this shirt, and I want to add my name at the bottom, and they will order them. Inside of Amazon, it's okay to put links to your continuation product, or bundle them if you want to. So I will do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, are you doing everything yourself? Do you have some VAs that are kind of helping you with all of the? Because you obviously have a lot of things going on with all the platforms.
I don't design absolutely nothing. I mean, I am not. I don't design. Like right now, I'm working on a special project because it was asked last minute by somebody that I'm working on a project, and so I'm trying to. I'm not really designing. I'm more like converting PNGs to something smaller.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be a circular PNG, so I'm having to convert them, and so I'm doing that myself. By the time my BS wake up, I was thinking I was gonna be done, but no, I'm not even close. But other than that, yes, every single one of my designs is done by somebody else. I do all the uploading. I don't trust people on my account. I mean, even like that, 4 of my last 5 rejections that I had on merge were because I wrote the word shit instead of shirt. So I don't know if that has happened to you guys, but it happens to me quite a lot. And since I'm using, these tools that automate my uploading, I don't catch the mistake until like I get all these reactions. So one after another.
Yeah.
So no, I only do that. On my Facebook ads, I don't let nobody touch my Facebook.
Right.
I don't actually none of my social media I let people touch it. I mean, it's too risky. Use. I want to keep control of it. I want to keep control of my expenses. I want to kill it whenever I want to kill it. I just don't trust those things. But yeah, but designs, I don't do any.
So how many designers do you have?
I currently have one caricaturist, one that all he does is hand drawing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have one middle quality designer that he does like the more elaborate kind of designs, and then I have 2 that all they do is text.
Okay.
Just text, and those 2 I have in part time, and I don't have them. I actually share it with another friend. He uses half time, I use half. And the reason I have 2 is because I want to have more diversity on the style. Then I could have one full time, but I prefer to have different styles.
Right. That's smart. Like designers have different styles of doing things. So like even if you tell a designer I want to see this, they're still going to kind of end up back in that little trend that they like to do or whatever.
Yeah, they start using the same font, they start using the same colors. I mean, they start abusing it, and then they don't understand certain niches. And like for example, I have one of my designers that understands very well my teaching niche. He understands that teachers like more pastel, more colors, more feminine colors, and he was using the other one was using like reds and blacks, and everything was for a black shirt. And I can tell him, dude, this one I needed to be in purples, I need to be in pinks, I need to be in baby blues. and I need to, I need to tone it down, and he will bring me all these like super vivid, and I'm like, okay, you don't understand teaching. You're gonna do all these, biker stuff and all these rules, and you're gonna do all that. So to me, it makes more sense. So I started talking to my friend, and I said, okay, uh, he's like, I have the same problem, with him in the other side. So I said, okay, let's go half and half, and so now we use them for half-hour times, and it's working for us, right?
I think it's really smart. I mean, I think it's understanding what the limitations are for for your employees. Like, don't try and shove a square peg in a round hole, because they may be a great designer, but if they can't fulfill like the need that you need in this one spot, like find a way to use them in a different way.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I mean, you don't understand. We don't understand every single niche, so I don't expect them to understand every single niche.
Right.
And also they're not living in our same environment, so they don't. It's not like to them this is like like first nature to say, oh yeah, I understand what the bikers do, right? They probably don't even own a bike, or they probably own a Vespa, which is a whole different type of bike. It's not a Harley, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, you need to design something around cats and unicorns and being a happy place, and that is what you're good at. I don't want to ask you for nothing that is too radical for your taste, right?
Yeah. Also, too, with your uploading, do you have like any automation tools that you use, or any type of tools that you use?
I use Merch Batcher. That's like $10 a month.
Yeah.
Is what I use. I usually use. What I do is usually I go with like I try to batch every single shirt, every single design that is in a specific niche. For example, if I'm gonna do unicorns, I try to get all my unicorns and do it in one day. So that way I open all the tabs, and my second line is gonna be very generic. That is only gonna apply to unicorns. So I don't have to be writing so many lines. I only write one, and the second line, the one that is specific to the design, usually fits for 2 or 3 different designs. So I try to upload, at the same time, everything that has to do with the same niche. Name it 5 designs or 30 designs. If I'm gonna go, so I know what I'm gonna be getting because I usually order them a week in advance. So I know how many designs I'm gonna be having in each niche. So I plan more or less. Okay, these ones I'm gonna be doing them for Wednesday. This is gonna be doing them for Thursday, and that saves me a hell of a lot of time. I used to do it like as they were arriving, I was uploading them. But I mean, I will go one for teaching, and then I will go one for racing. Then I'll go one for for a unicorn. Then I will go for a dinosaur. And I mean, and you guys know, right? When you are doing keywords for one specific, change the channel especially when it's complete opposite niche. It's very difficult. It's very inefficient. So I decided to put them all together and do all of them at the same day.
Now, are you writing individual like titles for every single one that you're doing, or are you just kind of varying like shirt, t-shirt? You know what I mean? Because like when I do it, at least when I'm batching it out, like I'm gonna do 30 of a particular style, right? Like, so maybe it's unicorns. A lot of times I'll have very similar bullets. I may change around a couple of words or whatever just to make it quicker, because it's the only way that I'm going to get through 100 to 200 uploads.
Yeah, the only time I actually do a very specific title is when the shirt calls for the very specific title. There is a phrase that right now is popular that I know that the person is actually going to search through for that phrase.
Yeah.
Otherwise, every single shirt is going to be like this happy unicorn shirt. I don't know what, or something very keyword heavy.
Yeah.
But not necessarily describes the design, right? If somebody clicked on your design, is because they didn't search for the keyword, for the words that are in your shirt, because they like the image they saw. But you don't need to describe the image. It's a waste of your time.
Yep.
So I try to go heavy unless, as I said, it's something that I know people are gonna be looking for. Like unicorns or unicorns poop rainbows or something like that. Yeah, I probably wanna do something like that right now because people are probably looking for a rainbow poop. Other than that, I am not gonna waste my time, right? People look at that, right? They buy it. It was a good seller of mine for a couple of months.
I mean, there's a cat pooping a rainbow right now that's doing really well for St. Patrick's. So apparently, pooping rainbows is a powerful niche, guys. You guys should cross niche onto those.
Americans are obsessed with poop for some reason. I have no idea why.
My wife says poop is always funny.
Yeah. Actually, surprisingly, farting is not a good niche to sell. I don't know why. I mean, you look at it, every single movie has a farting on it, and every single movie has a fart joke, right? So why is the shirts about farting not selling? I have no idea.
That's
I know
funny.
the Father's Day, the farter is the one that it actually sells. The little play on words where world's best instead of father it says farter. That one does well, but it's way overdone.
Yeah.
Completely. It's completely abused.
All right, well, let's take some questions for Fernando or whoever has questions for us. Go ahead and if you guys want to ask them, go for it.
What did I do?
We need to put this in the chat like 30 seconds before we're actually going to ask RJ because that damn delay. There's always a dead period here.
Yeah, no, they're not going to ask no questions. Someone had a question about the throttling. Like, do they think it's still going on?
It's not.
No.
I can tell you 100% it's not. What happened is, I don't think I will get in trouble with this. When they throttle, which it happened, they did throttle, and they accepted they did throttle. Something happened with the BSR. It was not intended to be erased. When the BSR got erased, it caused our shirts to be de-indexed. Right now, they are creating all these new mock-ups and all this stuff, and they're tweaking the listings. This is what you're seeing the docs. They're actually fixing that listing. So no, there is no throttle going on. Actually, if you pay attention to some of your shirts, especially your top sellers, most likely you're gonna see that now you have next day shipping on some of them. I don't know if you have noticed that.
No, I haven't actually seen that, but I know that there was a shirt that a friend of mine ordered one of our designs like last Thursday, and they got the design like by I want to say Monday or Tuesday. Like it was super quick.
There is a tool that says that in some listings now is showing. I don't have an example right now. I knew it was coming though, but I know that they're now showing that you order by 5 p.m. is gonna ship tomorrow.
Interesting. I haven't seen that yet on none of my listings.
Yeah, that's going to translate into a lot more sales. Instead of like our sales dying 7 days before the holiday, it's going to make a huge difference.
You see, and this is not something I learned there, but if you sell on CreateSpace actually prints. You know, when they identify a book that is already selling, that is becoming hot, they print ahead of time certain number of books. So they know that, you know, like right now they have downtime. They're like, okay, what do we do right now? Okay, print a bunch of these books. We know what they're going to sell. We're selling 100 of these a week. Just go ahead and print 50. So when we get a mass order, we already have them and we can keep on shipping them so we don't saturate. I don't know if that's what is happening with merch or not. I mean, that is something that they didn't tell us. I actually learned about this on a conversation we had, you know, with another guy who went that actually sells and creates space, and he's the one who told me. They're probably thinking about doing that, and that's probably what they're saying. You know, this is a top seller. It's one that we know. This large size sells like crazy. May as well just print some of these ones, and they can guarantee, you know, order before 5, it's gonna ship. I don't know if that's the case, but some listings are beginning to show, you know, you order by 5, you get it shipped tomorrow. It is like that, right?
Yeah, interesting. That's I never knew that at all.
That's super interesting.
It's brand new.
Yeah.
Do you mind talking about what your pricing strategy is, Fernando?
I have different pricing strategies, to be honest. If it's a shirt that I know that is very, you know, very detailed, that people are gonna buy regardless of the price, I always start, you know, we're talking a standard. I always started at $19.99. Once it gets to sale, I start playing with the price, and it's go up, so it stays. It depends on how fast I got the first sale on that shirt. If it sells pretty fast, I said, okay, it's probably cheap. I start going up, and it took about 3 weeks for my first sale. I'm like, I'm gonna leave it at $19.99. If it's one of those shirts that I know, for example, it's just nothing but a red heart, saying "Be My Valentine." Those ones I'm gonna go at $14.99 start, and then I'm gonna start playing with the market. But most likely, it's never gonna reach $16.99 because it's just never gonna sell after $16.99, right? There are gonna be thousands of the same crap selling in Amazon. So to me, those shirts are used. I use volume sellers. They are tear me up kind of product.
Mm-hmm.
I will benefit. My winnings will come from getting higher tier than from getting a sell out of that shirt. So to me those are like whatever. You sell, give me $1 and I'll be happy. And some shirts, when I am like text only, almost every single text I start at around $15.99. Then I start playing with the market.
Okay.
There are some niches that they're saturated that I'm happy if it sells for $16, $17.99. But some of them, even if it's text only, some of them make it all the way to $20.99 because there is absolutely no competition. For example, there was an earthquake in Mexico last year.
Yeah.
And there was this Labrador dog that supposedly saved like 40 some plus people, and by sniffing them out, and the name was Frida, and that shirt I drove it all the way to $21.99, just a single dog picture, because there was literally no competition. I mean, it was in a niche that nobody was using, and even though there was very very basic design, like literally was a stock picture of a Labrador dog. I mean, it was nothing fancy, and I was able to make about 60 sales out of that shirt because, of course, there was not many Mexicans in Amazon.com looking for a dog shirt.
Yeah.
But it was one of those that I was happy to drive the sale at a higher price because there was absolutely no competition. So you gotta be logic with your pricing. I know a lot of people say in the groups, nothing less than $19.99. Yeah, you may sell one, you may sell two, you may sell none. You will never know. There is no way to tell how many people have clicked on your shirt. There's no way of knowing, actually, absolutely no statistics. We are all lying to ourselves when we say, I will sell the same amount of shirts at $14.99 than at $19.99. The reality is we have no idea. I am probably leaving money to the table, or I'm probably making a lot more money than those people that are always pricing $19.99. And we can argue, I mean, for 10 hours, and we will never be able to prove who is right and who is wrong. So I just play with the market and see how it reacts.
Yep.
Okay. Then also too, with your uploads, are you maxing out your uploads for the day?
Right now, I am, because I'm doing the one shirt, one color, one stuff. But if I wasn't doing that, there is no freaking way. I mean, I can use, like I said, I use merch batcher, so I only create one listing, and I have 10 tabs open, so it's like pretty much paste, save, and I can create 10 shirts in like 10 minutes, right? But if I was doing one shirt, all colors, and doing 100 uploads, nah, hell no, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think. I mean, it's just too much.
Yeah. Right. Let's see. Okay.
Here's a good question. So, are you uploading your old top sellers, or are you just letting Amazon slowly get around fixing the listing and getting them back up?
Okay, that's a trick question, huh? Okay. I had a shirt that I had around 300 for 3 months consecutive before the freeze, right? And today it's ranked 2.5 million. I haven't sold one since November the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
The niche didn't die. I mean, I know it's still very strong. It just got stuck in the middle. I had about 6 different variants. I re-uploaded one yesterday. I said, okay, because I'm gonna start removing anything that hasn't sold since before the freeze. I'm starting to re-upload, because I don't, even if Amazon starts showing them again, or even if it's already showing them again, the rank is now so pathetic that it's gonna be super hard to be able to bounce them back. You see, the way
Right.
Amazon sees it is like, this shirt hasn't sold absolutely nothing now in almost 4 months. We're going on 4 months since November, right? In the algorithm, is a product that is not selling anymore. So I'm starting to yes, I'm starting to re-upload them.
Yeah, I mean, we've started to do the same thing. We basically looked through. My wife today actually spent most of the day going through like the last 3 months and looking at everything that's sold and what hasn't sold, and we're going to re-upload a lot. Part of that has to do with the fact we have 200 uploads a night to do, so it's just easier for me. I can take those. I already have all the bullets, everything done. I can just slam them in really quick and fill those slots.
Actually, yeah, with Merge Patcher, all I do is edit, and I just click it and save it, and then I just paste it again. I mean, I can create all those listings in a matter of seconds. It's super fast now. But the only reason why I was being so reluctant to do it is because the child parent ASIN. I'm losing those. I'm losing my AMS in those shirts. That's what I was so reluctant. But now that they gave me so many listings a day, I'm like, okay, I can take the risk. I mean, I can still upload everything new I get, and I can still waste a couple of go ahead and reload everything I had. I mean, at tier 2000, I literally can go my whole inventory in less than 20 days now, whereas before we used to go like in 2-3 months. So I mean, I'm taking that gamble right now.
Gotcha. Now, are you removing the actual listing, the older one, or are you still leaving it up with the hope that someday it'll actually come back?
Well, it's an Amazon rule that you can have as many designs as you want. I mean, the designing as many listings as you want, as long as it's not the same product.
Mm-hmm.
So I cannot leave the old listing on. If I create if I already have a listing that even if it has 5 colors but has a product already black, I cannot have the same black shirt listed in a different listing anymore. It's against Amazon rules. It's double listing, and in Amazon Seller Central that could actually get your account terminated, and I'm pretty sure in Merch it will be as well. So no.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Interesting. Okay, so what's your advice for people in the first tier at tier 10? What's your advice how would they get out of that tier? Like, what should they do?
Well, the first thing is design around holidays. I think that's the one that you should be more comfortable doing, because that's what the volume is. Second is design on a niche that you understand, that you actually are passionate about, because otherwise you have no idea what you're doing. I mean, if you don't drink beer, the worst mistake you can do is create a beer shirt. If you are a Democrat, the worst thing you can do is create a shirt that you are pro-guns. I mean, you are never going to understand the Second Amendment. You're never going to understand the right of bearing arms. You're always going to have passions against it, and your design is going to show it. And people who are, for example, in Second Amendment right, believers, they have a specific taste that if you don't understand that niche, you are never going to sell a shirt. And even if you agree with the Second Amendment right, if you don't own a gun, you will never understand what to put on that shirt. So you're never going to sell one. You're never going to understand the colors. You're never going to understand absolutely nothing. If you don't play rugby, you don't play football, you're never going to understand that niche either, because to you, that is probably a very, barbaric sport. And you are never going to understand that it has nothing to do with barbarism. It has to do with a culture. It has to do with, with a lifestyle that you don't believe. So if your passion is, for example, teaching, go ahead and do something for teaching. If your passion is something, for soccer, go and do something for soccer. It's something you understand, something you can connect to, and you would understand. You would know exactly what to ask your designers or what you want to design yourself. I see so many mistakes on people chasing trends and trying to follow the advice given from day one in other groups. That ideas are everywhere, and go and find it, and and duplicate them, and not duplicate them. I'm sorry, perfect them. What you're doing is you are actually digging your own grave, because you are now getting a shirt that has so much competition, and you just create a variation when you want to be right now unique, when you want to right now be the one that has your opportunity is so small. You have 10 chances to sell one shirt over 10 million shirts listed, right? So it's like when you play the probability game, it's just impossible. Today I was in a Spanish group and people were asking me exactly the same question. I told them, you have holidays in your country that an American would never know exist. However, you are from Colombia, for example. There is a bunch of Colombians here in the United States, that are probably looking for that specific shirt, for that specific virgin, for that specific, saint, that there's no competition. You understand that, go for it, go do something. There is no rule in Amazon saying that you cannot design in French, Spanish, Vietnamese, or Japanese, or Chinese, or any other language. You can design in any language you want. You can, the United States is so diversified that you can find niches that are close to your heart, especially those that are international people, that you will find, a customer base that we that are born and raised in the United States will have never thought about, and we will have never explored because we didn't even know it existed.
Right.
Okay. There you guys go, right there.
There's some real knowledge right there. Like, seriously, like, you should take the time to actually listen to what Fernando said, because there's some really, really good knowledge, especially if you're in the lower tiers. Like, finding anything that can differentiate yourself from the rest of the pack is huge in this business.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Aaron, ask your question.
I already did. He asked it.
Oh, okay.
In the chat.
Okay.
RJ.
Way to kiss up to my wife. Good job.
RJ is my new favorite.
I've sold so many doctor shirts. Okay, nurse shirts. Just take a few more questions and we're gonna call it a night.
Oh, just Alvaro Fiora reminded me. Fernando, you have a course on print on demand, right?
I do.
I know that you have it. I actually haven't had a chance to actually look at it, so I am kind of curious for myself what the course is about. And
well, the course is not necessarily merge. It's more like it covers a little bit of merge, but it's more about expanding. I cover different platforms, and it's more about business mentality, right? And how to approach it. How to make it a business. I tell you why. Let's write a vision statement, a mission statement. Let's set goals. About masterminds, social media. I spend a lot of time on social media. For merch, it's probably not that necessary. But for other platforms, it's a must, right? Facebook ads and stuff like that. So this is more about, you already have your designs on merch. Yes, I can show you how to do merch, but it's about expanding, going to Etsy, going to Redbubble, TeePublic, Teespring, Fanprint, wherever you want to go. You already have the product, which is the designs, and you have the time. Why not expand, right?
Right.
So the course covers a lot of that information. Of course, I have a group where I go live and I share a lot of information that I probably wouldn't share, openly, in open groups, because of, first, competition, second, because I'm not allowed to. But yes, it's a basic course. I mean, you want to expand. It's a good one. I mean, you're already in your 10,000. I mean, you could probably. I mean, you can always learn something, right? But it's not meant for you, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan. We've had this discussion before. I think that there's something to be said for paying for that knowledge, so you don't have to spend the time to, because your time is worth money. So especially if you're in even if you're in tier 10K, like if your business is merch, you may not have necessarily the time to spend all this time, for the very small rewards you're going to have to start to expand on other things.
Yeah, I mean, the course has about 22 interviews, I believe it does. 22 interviews with different people. I mean, for example, on the Shopify alone, I have an interview with Phil Capriano and Chris Blair, who are two of the most recognized influencers in that topic. I mean, both of them sell millions of dollars a year. I am a small potato still. Even, I mean, compared to rookies, I am decent, but compared to the real players, I'm a newbie. I mean, being honest. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna teach you how to do Shopify myself. I'm gonna get the two experts. I'm gonna teach you Shopify, from them. Like, for example, you want in the Pinterest. I understand Pinterest. I do Pinterest. But what did I do? I said I brought Teresa Rose, and she gave about an hour and a half, lesson on Pinterest. Facebook pages, I said, you know what, I am good with it, but I went and got Rachel Miller, and Rachel Miller has a whole section being taught by Rachel Miller. So I brought the expert on every single one of the topics, and I put it, on their own segment, and I think just the interviews alone paid the cost of the course.
Okay. Yeah. Also, too, after the video, I'll get the link to your course, and I'll put it in the description. So
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I even have JPCers on there. I don't know, you have no idea who JPCers is. This guy with the long hair, always talking about ultra spiritual guy. You have probably seen it. Very famous social media guy. It's a hilarious interview. He talks about being yourself while building influence. It's a complete course.
Okay. You guys got any more questions?
Samir wants to know what percentage of shirts have AMS ads. I think we can kind of all answer that question because I think we all have kind of a different outlook on it.
Yes. Right now, I don't have a lot of AMS running, to be honest, because I knew that it wasn't going to help at all right now with the situation that is going on. All the docs that we're showing, all the on indexing, all the shares, kind of burn with no ranks. I kind of stop them. I probably have like 10 shares right now running. One of the few shares that I have running right now have to do with the Americans Have Dreamers 2 that actually did really well with AMS on that one. Now I can share because that is gone. That momentum is gone. But I mean, other than that, I'm not running much AMS.
I'm running AMS. I'm running all ads to all the trending holidays that are coming up. So I'm running AMS ads to all those already.
Actually, right now, I don't even think you can open an AMS account.
You cannot. The Vendor Express is closed for new accounts, so it's that door shut. Yeah, I'm running AMS to probably about a third of our total listings right now, and just doing a lot of testing. So I was talking with RJ before. I'm actually planning on shutting down some of our AMS ads to St. Patrick's just because it's gotten really expensive, and it's at the point now where it's, if your shirt's not ranking, it's not going to really help you a whole lot because you're just not going to be able to compete with the organic traffic. The organic traffic's ridiculous right now. So those I'm going to start shutting down. Some of the other ones are performing pretty well, so we'll keep those running. And then I'm just testing a lot of stuff right now because I want to be able to, when the shirts do start to show up again, I want to make sure that I have some of that data.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, AMS is great to get trending keywords and stuff like that to get those documents out. But right now, it's just I said it's a waste of time.
What's your take on finding a new designer for a merch account? Like, where do you go to find a designer?
I go to Fiverr. I mean, not Fiverr. Upwork. Upwork. Pretty much what I do is I go on Upwork. I create a listing. I tell them, I test them with about 10 designs. If I like him, I interview him in person. When I interview him in person, I go usually a Skype or something like that. I go, and actually the test is to I want to know if they actually are the ones who design my shirt, because I gave him very specific instructions, and some of in my instructions I actually was a jerk. Let's put it that way, where I abused American idioms and stuff like that. I wanted to know if they were able to manage the English language in a way that it will make sense for a shirt. So when I go and I interview them, I don't tend to speak formal. I tend to go, with slang and stuff like that. If they can follow me, it meant for me that they were the guys who were actually reading my emails. Right. And it means that they understand American culture in some way or another. I have tried before where, I said, okay, we didn't understand each other very well. And they will bring me, all these designs that they were the typical Fiverr ones that, like all the ones that were always making little squares and, like with little, I don't know, those thingies that were like spirals that there were people abusing them. And those things don't sell. Those things don't appeal to the American market. And So it has worked out for me very well when I actually go ahead and interview with him, verbally, and because now I know that these guys actually understand what I'm talking about, and they deliver when I tell them, look, if I give them a quote or a specific, there's so many, Pakistanis, Vietnamese, Filipinos that are very obsessed with American culture. So they actually watch American shows and stuff like that, and they speak very good English. So those are the ones that I like to have on my payroll. If when I go, they start, just speaking like the typical stereotype of a movie, I don't mess with them.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, there you guys go right there. There's a tip right there to go to Upwork. You can go to onlinejobs.com or .ph. What else is there? I don't recommend Fiverr, but you can go there too if you want to just get quick design.
Well, you can always wait for somebody who to message you at 3 a.m. in your Facebook saying I am designing. those tend to work out very well, usually. Or you can always go to those that are gonna sell you a design for $10 with some crappy keywords, which I have never. I only used once and I never used them again in my life. But yeah, I prefer to have my own designers. My caricaturist, if that is the way it's said, it's in Venezuela actually. With him, I communicate in Spanish.
Yeah.
Little home court advantage there.
Well, Venezuelans are actually very artistic, and they're not as expensive as other countries, though.
Yeah. Let's take one more question, RJ, and then go ahead and call.
Yeah. Let's see. That was my question right there, the main one. Go ahead and get it, Matt.
I was waiting for you to grab it. I wasn't even trying to read through the chat real quick.
Yeah, I really don't see any go down below. I have the onlinejobs.ph down below in the description for.
Yeah.
It's a Filipino site. Or yeah. Well, it does came out correctly.
Good job, RJ. Here's a question. It's because there's a decent number of new people on the show. So with your designers, Fernando, do you have any formal agreement in place with regards to the rights of the designs, so they know that you own the copyright?
No.
Yeah. Exactly. See, this is why I like Fernando. There's no bullshit. It's just no, that's silly.
Go to my LinkedIn and you will see that I have an extensive experience in contract management. I mean, that is my background, contract management, copyright law, stuff like that. I mean, you can see it on my LinkedIn. I know about NDAs, I know about agreements, and I don't know about that. Do you really think I'm going to be able to enforce anything I have right now with somebody in the Philippines?
Right.
A waste of my time.
Yep.
I mean, the only contract you should have is with yourself, that whatever you get something and you don't think is right, you need to check it. I mean, that's it. I mean, you should always double check when in doubt. I mean, some of these designers that I work, I have been doing them with business for a while, and they still mess up, and some of them had actually cut stuff that I messed up, and they tell me, Fernando, this one is trademark. And sometimes I catch them as well. Why? Because that day when I checked, it was probably no life, or that day when I checked that was being contested, whatever happened, you gotta double check your stuff. Agreements with those guys, there is no way to prove it. I mean, there is one guy right now in the United States that used to sell shirts, and I won't say the name, but right now he's saying the file of every single shirt he sold. So,
pretty sure I know who you're talking about.
So I mean, that tells you right there that there's nothing you can do to control.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he was selling 540 files for $20 or something like that. I mean, that is okay, whatever, dude.
Right. Well, I mean, if you buy that, you deserve what you get. I mean,
all of them are really
common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's gonna do it for the night.
We got one last question. Eric Basso wants to know, how much did you pay for that AT-AT in your background, Fernando?
That AT-AT?
Yeah.
Where?
$24.99.
There you go. Steal. That's right.
I bought it at 75% off at Target.
There we go. Thank you, Fernando. That was great.
I do Amazon FBA. Every single toy I have in my room, it's probably paid 70 to 80% off.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, guys. If you haven't already, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. It really does help. Like and share it. You guys are a big part of our show. We enjoy interacting with our audience. So just want to thank you guys.
Yeah, everybody.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Fernando. Appreciate it. And everybody have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.